Broken promises. The Canadian dream turned sour. Imagine this. You're a young Indian student, you packed your bags, said goodbye to your family, and flew across the world to Canada. You're chasing the Canadian dream, right? Good education, better life, maybe even a shot at becoming a permanent resident. But then, bam! The rules change. Your path to residency, gone. Your future, up in the air. This is the harsh reality for thousands of Indian students in Canada right now. They're facing deportation, their dreams turning into nightmares. Protests are erupting, voices are rising, and they're demanding answers. This is their story. Maple leaf dreams, drawn to the promise of Canada. Why Canada, you ask? Opportunity. Canada has a reputation, a welcoming country, a multicultural society, and a top-notch education system. Plus, Canada's immigration system has always been seen as fair and points-based. Many students see it as a pathway to permanent residency. They dream of building a life in Canada, contributing to its economy, and maybe even starting a family. But recent changes in Canadian immigration policies have thrown a wrench into their plans. The dream is fading and reality is biting back. Shifting sands. Policy changes rocked the boat. Canada decided to tighten its immigration policies. The rules got stricter, the requirements tougher, and the competition for permanent residency became cutthroat. One major change was the introduction of new pathways for specific professions. Sounds good in theory, right? But it left many international students who were studying in different fields out in the cold. And then there's the backlog. The Canadian immigration system is notoriously slow, with thousands of applications piling up. For many Indian students, the dream is slipping away. Voices from the ground stories of struggle and uncertainty? Meet Raj. He came to Canada 4 years ago to study computer science. He worked his butt off, excelled in his studies, and even landed a great job in Toronto. He thought he was on the right track to permanent residency. Then the rules changed. His program is no longer eligible for the new pathway. Now he's facing deportation. Deportation. After building a life here, paying taxes, contributing to the economy.
I did everything right. I followed the rules, worked hard, and now it's just not fair.
Then there's Priya. She came to Canada to study nursing, hoping to build a better life for herself and her family back in India. She's been working part-time to support herself while studying, juggling her responsibilities. But the constant fear of deportation hangs over her head.
Every day I wake up with this fear. I don't know what will happen to me. It's like living in a nightmare.
Section 5. Predators in the shadows, the misleading consultants. Now let's talk about the vultures in this whole mess, the shady immigration consultants. They prey on the hopes and dreams of these students, promising them the moon and the stars. They paint a rosy picture of Canada, downplaying the complexities of the immigration system. These consultants charge exorbitant fees, often providing misleading or inaccurate information. They exploit the students' desperation, leaving them vulnerable and misinformed. It's a predatory system, man, and it's gotta stop. Section 6. A system in question, experts weigh in. Immigration lawyers and experts are calling out the system, saying it's broken and unfair.
They argue that the constant changes in immigration policies create chaos and uncertainty for international students. They're demanding more transparency, consistency, and fairness in the system.
Mental health professionals are also raising the alarm, highlighting the devastating impact of this situation on students' mental well-being.
Section 7. Fighting for their future, protests and pleas for justice. But here's the thing about these Indian students. They're not giving up without a fight.
They're organizing protests, rallying support and demanding justice. They're sharing their stories, making their voices heard, and putting pressure on the Canadian government to act. They're demanding a fair chance to stay in Canada, to contribute to the country they now call home. They're asking for compassion, understanding, and a path to a secure future. We are Canada.
Section 8. A glimmer of hope, seeking fairness and a secure future. The fight is far from over. The Canadian government is facing mounting pressure to address this issue. They need to find a solution that is both compassionate and practical. A solution that recognizes the contributions of these students and provides them with a fair shot at building a life in Canada. This is about more than just immigration policies. It's about time Canada steps up and makes things right.